Their apex predator faced Earth's cat. It learned true terror. The Sejong explorer drifted through the darkness of space like a metal island among the stars. Inside the human research vessel, Captain Daeho sat in his command chair, reviewing diplomatic reports from the latest council meeting. Beside his chair, an orange tabby cat named Whiskers slept peacefully on a folded blanket. The cat's chest rose and fell with each breath, completely unbothered by the fact that he was floating through the void of space. Daeho had been a starship captain for 12 years. He had seen many strange things in the galaxy. He had negotiated with species that breathed methane. He had traded with crystalline beings that communicated through light patterns. He had even shared a meal with a species that considered raw meat a grave insult. But nothing prepared him for what was about to happen. The trouble started at Diplomatic Station. Kepler 7, the station was a massive ring structure where hundreds of species met to conduct business and politics. Daeho's crew had docked there for routine supplies and to attend a minor council function. It was supposed to be simple and boring. Dr. Hana, the ship's lead scientist, walked beside Daeho through the station's main corridor. She was young for her position, only 32, but brilliant in her field of alien biology. She carried a data pad and occasionally pointed out interesting aliens they passed. "That one is from the Methra system," she said quietly, nodding toward a floating jellyfish-like creature. "They communicate entirely through bioluminescence." Daeho nodded, but his mind was elsewhere. He had noticed several Vryn warriors watching them from across the corridor. The Vryn were tall, reptilian creatures with rough scales and cold eyes. They came from a high-gravity world where only the strongest survived. Their culture was built entirely around hunting and combat. One of the Vryn separated from his group and approached. He was massive, nearly 7 feet tall, with dark green scales and scars crossing his face. His armor was decorated with bones and teeth from various creatures he had killed. "Human," the Vryn said. His voice was deep and rough like grinding stones. "I am Commander Ralvik of the Vryn 3rd Fleet." Daeho stopped and faced him properly. "Commander, I am Captain Daeho of the human vessel Sejong Explorer. How can I help you?" Ralvik's eyes narrowed. He looked down at Daeho with obvious contempt. Humans were shorter than most species in the galaxy. Daeho stood only 5 feet 9 inches tall, which made him seem almost like a child next to the Vryn commander. "I have been watching your species," Ralvik said. "You have been part of the council for 15 years, yet you are still weak. Your ships are small. Your people are soft. You have no warrior tradition. You are prey pretending to be predators." Dr. Hannah tensed beside Daeho, but the captain remained calm. He had heard this before. Many alien species made assumptions about humans based on appearance. "We prefer science and exploration to war," Daeho said simply. "But we are capable when necessary." Ralvik laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. Several other aliens in the corridor stopped to watch the confrontation. "Capable?" Ralvik said. "I have read your files. I know your homeworld. Soft gravity? Moderate climate. You evolved without true predators to challenge you. You have never known real danger." Dr. Hana could not stay quiet anymore. "That's not accurate. Earth has thousands of predator species. Humans evolved alongside some of the most dangerous creatures in our sector." Ralvik's attention shifted to her. "Then where are these dangerous creatures? Why do you not bring them with you to the stars? We Vryn travel with our Scarith, the apex predator of our world. They are our companions and our proof of strength. What do humans bring?" Daeho felt his jaw tighten. He knew where this was going. "We bring many things," he said carefully. "Our knowledge, our technology, our—" "Your cats," Ralvik interrupted. He had clearly done his research. "I have read that humans keep small creatures called cats on their ships. For what purpose? Amusement? Do you keep prey animals as pets because you miss having something weaker than you nearby?" A few alien observers made sounds that might have been laughter. Daeho felt his face grow warm, but he kept his expression neutral. Cats serve many purposes, Dr. Hana said. They control vermin populations on stations and ships. They provide companionship. And they are not prey animals. They are predators. Rolovik's laugh was louder this time. Predators? These tiny creatures that sleep all day? That humans carry in their arms like infants? He leaned down closer to Dr. Hana. How large is this predator of yours? About 4 kilograms on average, Dr. Hana admitted. But size is not 4 kilograms. Rovik straightened up and addressed the growing crowd. Humans keep 4-kilogram predators as companions and call themselves capable. A Scarith juvenile weighs 100 kilograms and can tear through steel plating. More aliens were gathering now. Deho could see this was becoming a spectacle. He needed to end it quickly. Commander, I think we should continue this conversation in private, he said, but Rovik was not finished. He was enjoying the attention. No, Captain. I think this should be public. I propose a challenge. He spread his arms wide, addressing the entire crowd. Bring your cat predator to face a juvenile Scarith. A simple demonstration. If your creature survives even 5 minutes, the Vryn will formally acknowledge human resilience in our official records. If it does not survive, then humanity will be recorded as a species that keeps prey animals as companions. The corridor went silent. Every alien present understood the significance of such a challenge. If Deho refused, it would make humans look cowardly. If he accepted and Whiskers died, it would humiliate Earth on the galactic stage. Dr. Hana grabbed Deho's arm and whispered urgently, We cannot risk Whiskers in a fight with an alien super predator. It would be murder. Deho thought carefully. He knew Whiskers better than most people knew their pets. The cat was lazy and affectionate most of the time. But Deho had also seen Whiskers catch a maintenance drone that had malfunctioned and was flying erratically through the cargo bay. The cat had leaped 3 meters straight up, snatched the drone out of the air, and pinned it to the ground in under 2 seconds. The drone had been completely destroyed. He also remembered something his grandmother had told him when he was a child. She had been a farmer on Earth and kept many cats. She had said, Never forget that cats are not tame. They choose to live with us. They could survive without us just fine. We are lucky they like us. I need to discuss this with my crew, Deho said finally. Ralvik nodded, looking satisfied. You have 1 day to decide. If you refuse, I will spread word of human cowardice to every species in the council. If you accept, we meet in neutral territory in 1 week. He turned and walked away. His warriors following behind him, the crowd slowly dispersed. Many aliens talking excitedly in various languages. Dr. Hana looked at Deho with worried eyes. We are not actually considering this, are we? She asked. Deho sighed. We need to get back to the ship and talk to the senior staff. And we need to talk to Whiskers. Talk to Whiskers? Dr. Hana repeated. He is a cat. He will not understand. Maybe not, Deho agreed. But cats understand more than we think. Let's show him a recording of a Scarith and see how he reacts. If he seems scared, we refuse the challenge and deal with the political consequences. But if he seems unbothered... He trailed off. They returned to the Sejong Explorer quickly. Lieutenant Taemin, the security officer, was waiting in the docking bay. He was a tall man with sharp eyes and quick reflexes. He had heard about the confrontation through station gossip that traveled faster than light. Is it true? Taemin asked. Did a Vryn really challenge Whiskers to fight their apex predator? Yes, Deho said. And we need to decide what to do about it. They gathered in the captain's quarters. Whiskers was there, sitting on the windowsill and watching the stars drift by. Deho pulled up a video file on his display screen. It showed a Scarith in its natural habitat on the Vryn homeworld. The creature was terrifying. It moved like a reptilian Volf, with powerful legs and a long tail for balance. Its claws were black and curved like knives. Its teeth were visible even when its mouth was closed. The video showed it hunting something that looked like an armored deer. The Scarith brought down its prey in seconds, moving with terrible speed and precision. Deho turned the volume up. The Scarith made a sound between a roar and a hiss as it attacked. Whisker's ears swiveled toward the sound. He turned his head and looked at the screen. For a long moment, he watched the Scarth hunt. Then he yawned, showing all his teeth. He stood up, stretched, and walked over to his food bowl. He began eating, completely unconcerned. The three humans looked at each other. "Either he is too stupid to recognize a threat," Taemin said slowly, "or he is not afraid." Dr. Hannah shook her head. "Cats are not stupid. Their threat recognition is extremely sophisticated. If Whiskers does not see the Scarith as dangerous, it means he believes he could handle it." "That seems impossible," Taemin said. "Maybe," Dr. Hannah replied. "But cats evolved as apex predators in their weight class on Earth. They have a 97% genetic similarity to big cats like tigers and lions. They hunt the same way. They think the same way. The only difference is size." Daeho watched Whiskers finish his meal and start grooming his face. Their apex predator faced Earth's cat. It learned true terror. The biodome arena was larger than it looked from outside. Natural light filtered through the transparent ceiling panels, making it feel almost like being on a planet's surface. The temperature was comfortable, set to neutral specifications that would not favor either creature. Small plants grew in patches around the arena floor. Rocks of various sizes were scattered across the space, providing cover and elevated positions. Dr. Hannah carried Whiskers to the center of the arena. The cat was relaxed in her arms, purring softly. She could feel his heartbeat against her hands. It was steady and calm. She set him down gently on the smooth floor and stepped back toward the exit door. Whiskers sat down immediately and began washing his face with one paw. His orange fur gleamed under the lights. He looked completely ordinary, like any house cat doing typical cat things. Above them, in the observation galleries, hundreds of aliens watched in silence. Holographic cameras floated around the arena, recording everything from multiple angles. The footage was being broadcast to thousands of stations across the galaxy. Commander Ralvik stood in a special viewing box reserved for the Vryn delegation. His warriors surrounded him, all watching intently. Ralvik's expression showed complete confidence. This would be over quickly, and the humans would be humiliated. Captain Daeho stood in the human viewing area with Lieutenant Taemin. Both men looked tense. Daeho's hands gripped the railing in front of him. "He looks so small down there," Taemin muttered. "He always looks small," Daeho replied. "That is part of how cats hunt. Prey animals underestimate them." On the opposite side of the arena, a large door slid open with a mechanical hiss. The Scarith was released. The creature that entered the arena was called a juvenile, but it was already massive. It stood nearly 1 meter tall at the shoulder and measured 2.5 meters from nose to tail. Its body was covered in dark scales that looked like armor plating. Its legs were thick with muscle. Its claws clicked against the floor as it walked. Each claw was as long as a human finger and curved like a hook. The scad was broad and flat, with eyes positioned for excellent depth perception. Its mouth was slightly open, revealing rows of sharp teeth designed for tearing meat. A forked tongue flicked out, tasting the air. The creature looked around the arena, analyzing its environment. Its eyes were intelligent and focused. This was not a mindless beast. This was a thinking predator that had been trained for hunting since birth. Many aliens in the observation galleries made sounds of appreciation. The Scarith was truly impressive. Beside it, Whiskers looked absurdly small and vulnerable. The arena rules were simple. 5 minutes. If Whiskers survived, humans won the challenge. If the Scarith killed or severely injured the cat, the Vryn won. A council official would monitor and stop the fight if necessary to prevent death. Whiskers finished washing his face. He looked across the arena at the Scarith with mild interest. Then he lay down and began grooming his stomach. "What is he doing?" An alien in the galleries asked loudly. "Is he surrendering?" "I think he does not understand the danger," another replied. Dr. Hannah, who had returned to the viewing area, shook her head. "He understands perfectly. He is showing dominance. In cat behavior, ignoring a potential threat demonstrates confidence." The Scarith lowered its body into a hunting crouch. Its muscles tensed. Its tail went still. Every predator instinct in its body focused on the small orange creature across the arena. Then it began to stalk. The movement was poetry, written in scales and muscle. The Scarith moved like liquid shadow, each step perfectly placed. It used the rocks and plants for cover, approaching in a path that would keep it hidden from its prey as long as possible. Its training showed in every movement. The Vryn warriors in the viewing box nodded approvingly. This was how a true predator hunted. Whiskers continued grooming himself, apparently unaware of the approaching death. His pink tongue licked at his orange fur in steady, rhythmic strokes, but his ears were moving. They swiveled and adjusted constantly, tracking every sound in the arena. His eyes, though focused on his own stomach, had pupils that were not relaxed circles but vertical slits. He was operating at a higher state of alertness than his body language suggested. The Scarith closed within 10 meters. It froze behind a large rock, watching its prey. The creature's thermal vision saw the heat signature of the cat clearly. It was waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Whiskers stopped grooming. He sat up straight and looked directly at the rock where the Scarith was hiding. The two predators made eye contact. What happened next would be analyzed by xenobiologists for years afterward. In that moment of eye contact, something fundamental shifted in the arena. The Scarith, which had been completely confident, suddenly hesitated. Whiskers did not blink. He just stared with those green eyes that humans found cute but that carried millions of years of predator evolution. His gaze was absolutely cold and calculating. There was no fear in it. No uncertainty. Just the flat, emotionless stare of something that killed for survival. The Scarith made a low sound, almost like a question. It had never encountered prey that looked at it this way. Then Whiskers did something that made the entire gallery go silent. He stood up, arched his back, and fluffed every hair on his body. In an instant, his size seemed to double. His tail became a bristling bottle brush. His ears flattened against his skull, and he hissed. The sound that came from Whiskers was not cute or funny. It was a pure expression of rage and challenge. The arena's audio system amplified it, and the resulting noise made several aliens in the gallery step backward. Involuntarily, the Scarith lunged. It was a perfect attack. The creature crossed 10 meters in less than 2 seconds, claws extended, jaws open. It was a strike that had killed hundreds of prey animals on its homeworld. But Whiskers was not there. The cat moved like orange lightning. Instead of running away from the charging predator, he ran toward it. At the last possible instant, he juked sideways and passed between the Scarith's legs in a blur of motion. As he passed underneath, Whiskers extended his claws and raked them across the Scarith's soft underbelly. The scales there were thinner, and the cat's claws found purchase. 4 parallel scratches appeared on the creature's stomach. The Scarith roared in pain and surprise. It spun around, trying to locate its attacker. Whiskers was already moving. He ran straight up the Scarith's back, using his claws like climbing hooks. In half a second, he was on top of the creature's head, balanced between its eyes. The cat's claws dug into the sensitive skin around the Scarith's eyes and ears. He did not try to kill or seriously injure. He just inflicted pain in the most vulnerable areas he could reach. The Scarith thrashed violently, shaking its head and body. Any normal prey animal would have been thrown off immediately. But Whiskers held on with all 4 paws, his claws embedded deep. For 5 seconds, the Scarith bucked and spun like a bull trying to throw a rider. Then Whiskers simply let go and dropped away. He landed on his feet 3 meters away, completely balanced. He sat down and began washing his paw as if nothing had happened. The Scarith stood on shaking legs, breathing hard. Blood dripped from scratches around its eyes and ears. Its thermal vision was probably distorted from the pain near its eyes. It looked confused and hurt. "Impossible," Commander Ralvik whispered. His warriors were all leaning forward, staring in disbelief. Dr. Hana was talking rapidly into a recording device. The cat used multiple advanced hunting techniques in that single exchange. He baited the charge, used evasive movement, targeted vulnerable areas with precision, and disengaged before the larger predator could effectively counterattack. This is not instinct alone. This is intelligence combined with physical capability. The Scarith recovered its composure. It was hurt and confused, but it was also angry now. It circled around Whiskers, looking for another opening. Whiskers watched it circle. He remained sitting, looking relaxed. His tail swished slowly back and forth. The Scarith feinted left, then attacked from the right. Again, its speed was impressive. Again, Whiskers was faster. This time the cat leaped straight up. He jumped nearly 2 meters into the air, easily clearing the Scarith's snapping jaws. While airborne, he twisted his body in a way that should have been physically impossible. He landed on the Scarith's back again, further back this time. Near the tail, his claws found the base of the tail where nerve endings concentrated. He bit down on the same spot. The Scarith screamed. It was a sound of pure pain. The creature rolled over onto its back, trying to crush the cat beneath its weight. But Whiskers was already gone. He had pushed off and jumped clear before the Scarith could complete the roll. 4 minutes had passed. The Scarith got back to its feet more slowly this time. It was bleeding from multiple small wounds. Its movements were becoming less confident. It kept glancing around, trying to predict where the cat would appear next. Whiskers sat on top of a large rock, elevated above the arena floor. He was grooming himself again. Between licks, he would pause and stare at the Scarith. "He is playing with it," Taemin said quietly. "Like cats play with mice before they kill them." Daeho nodded slowly. "He is establishing dominance, showing the Scarith that he could kill it if he wanted to. But he is choosing not to." Their apex predator faced Earth's cat. It learned true terror. The news traveled fast. Within 12 hours of the arena match, every major station in the galaxy had received the footage. Within 24 hours, it had been viewed over 3 billion times. Within 48 hours, the entire galactic community was talking about nothing else. Captain Daeho sat in his ready room aboard the Sejong Explorer, watching message notifications pile up on his screen. Requests for interviews. Requests for information about cats. Requests for cultural exchanges. Questions from military strategists. Questions from xenobiologists. Questions from species that had never even acknowledged humanity before. Whiskers slept peacefully on the desk, his tail hanging over the edge. He was completely unaware that he had become the most famous cat in the galaxy. Dr. Hannah entered the room with her datapad. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep. She had been working non-stop since the match, answering questions from scientists across dozens of worlds. "Captain, you need to see this," she said, placing the pad on the desk. "The initial analysis reports are coming in from various species. Some of them are concerning." Daeho picked up the pad and began reading. The first report was from a Vryn military analyst. The analyst had broken down every second of the fight, studying Whiskers' movements frame by frame. The conclusion was written in cold, professional language, but Daeho could sense the fear behind the words. Subject displays reaction time approximately 70 milliseconds. This is faster than any known predator of similar size. Subject demonstrates perfect spatial awareness and gravity compensation. Subject targets vulnerable areas with precision, suggesting advanced intelligence. Subject uses psychological warfare effectively. Conclusion: this creature is a nearly perfect ambush predator. If humans possess military units with similar capabilities scaled to human size, conventional Vryn tactics would be ineffective. Daeho scrolled to the next report. This one was from a species called the Zethron, who were known for their advanced biological sciences. They had analyzed genetic data about cats that Dr. Hannah had provided. Felis caudus retains 95.6% genetic similarity to larger predators in family Felidae. Domestication has not reduced hunting capability. Instead, it has selected for individuals with higher social intelligence while maintaining full predator instincts. These creatures can switch between relaxed companion mode and full predator mode instantly. They possess retractable claws that remain sharp, flexible spines allowing impossible angles of attack, and excellent night vision. Concerning finding, humans have lived with these creatures for approximately 10,000 Earth years. This suggests humans are comfortable coexisting with constant potential danger. The reports continued, each one more worried than the last. But one stood out. It was from an elderly ambassador named Tikrith, from a peaceful insectoid species. His report was shorter but more thoughtful. We have made a fundamental error in understanding humanity. We assumed they were weak because they are kind. We assumed they were prey because they seek peace. But a species that can befriend apex predators is not weak. They are confident. A species that lives comfortably with creatures that could harm them at any moment is not naive. They are brave. We should reconsider our entire assessment of human psychology and capability. Dr. Hannah watched Deho read. It gets stranger, Captain. 6 species have requested permission to send delegations to Earth to study cats. 3 species have asked for breeding pairs to attempt their own domestication programs. And 1 species, the Vrel, have formally apologized for past dismissive treatment of human diplomats. Apologized? Deho looked up in surprise. Apparently, they have a cultural belief that any species capable of taming a perfect predator must be respected. They sent an official statement saying they now recognize humans as a warrior species. Lieutenant Taman entered the room, looking amused. Captain, you are not going to believe this. The betting houses on Kepler 7 station are going crazy. We just found out that 3 species won huge amounts betting on whiskers. All 3 are predator species themselves. When asked why they bet on the cat, they all said basically the same thing. They recognized something in how we talked about cats that showed respect, not ownership. Deho leaned back in his chair. So the predator species understood, but the prey species did not. That is interesting. There is more, Taman continued. Piracy incidents near human vessels have dropped 47% in the last 2 days. We think word has spread among criminal groups. They are not sure what else we might have on our ships, so they are staying away. A small smile crossed Deho's face. Reputation is a strange thing. A few days ago we were dismissed as harmless. Now everyone is afraid of us because of 1 cat. Not just any cat, Dr. Hannah corrected. Whiskers proved something important. He proved that humans understand predators in a way most species do not. We do not dominate them. We coexist with them. That requires a completely different mindset. A chime sounded. The communications officer's voice came through the ship's intercom. Captain, we have an incoming message from Commander Ralvik of the Vrin. He requests permission to come aboard with a small delegation. Deho exchanged glances with his officers. Permission granted. Have him meet us in conference room 2 in 1 hour. Commander Ralvik arrived exactly on time, accompanied by 2 other Vrin. One was the handler who had retrieved the Scarith from the arena. The other was an older Vrin with gray scales and intelligent eyes. Deho met them with Dr. Hannah and Taman. The conference room was comfortable but not fancy. With a long table and view screen showing the stars outside, Ralvik stood formally. Captain Deho, thank you for receiving us. I bring greetings from the Vrin Council. This is Tekvar, our chief xenobiologist. And this is Handler Venolok, whom you have met. Everyone sat down. There was a moment of awkward silence. Then Ralvik spoke, and his voice was different from before. There was no mockery now, no contempt, just honest curiosity mixed with something like respect. Captain, my people have analyzed the arena footage extensively. We have also researched Earth's biology and history. What we have learned has changed our understanding of humanity completely. I came here to formally apologize for my disrespect at our first meeting. I judged your species without knowledge. That was dishonorable. Deho nodded slowly. I accept your apology, Commander. No lasting harm was done. In fact, I think this whole incident has been educational for everyone. Tekvar leaned forward. His eyes were focused and intense. Captain, I must ask you something directly. That creature whiskers. How do you control it? What training methods do you use? What restraints? Dr. Hannah answered. We do not control whiskers. He is not trained like a military animal. We have no restraints on him. He lives freely on the ship, goes where he wants, sleeps where he wants. We provide food, water, medical care, and affection. In return, he provides companionship and pest control. The three Vryn looked at each other in confusion. Handler Venelok spoke for the first time. His voice was rough and uncertain. But in the arena, your creature showed incredible aggression and capability. How do you prevent it from attacking your crew? How do you ensure your safety? We treat him with respect, Deho said simply. We learn to read his body language. When he wants to be left alone, we leave him alone. When he wants attention, we give it. We do not try to dominate him or force him to obey. It is a relationship of mutual choice. Mutual choice, Tekvar repeated slowly, as if testing the words. You mean the creature could leave if it wanted? Yes, Dr. Hanna confirmed. Cats are not like dogs or horses that were bred to depend on humans. Cats chose to live with humans because we offered something beneficial, regular food, safe shelter, and social interaction. But they maintain their independence. A cat can survive perfectly well without humans if it needs to. Ralvik's clawed hand tapped on the table. This is completely different from our Scarith training. We use dominance hierarchies. We establish ourselves as pack leaders. We control every aspect of their lives from birth. The Scarith obey because they fear punishment and desire reward. That works for some species, Deho acknowledged. But cats do not work that way. You cannot dominate a cat. You can only partner with one. Tekvar pulled out a data device and displayed some information. I have studied Earth's domestication history. You have domesticated many species. Dogs, horses, cattle, chickens, and more. But your relationship with cats is unique. With other animals, humans change them significantly through breeding. But cats are almost identical to their wild ancestors. You did not change them. They simply agreed to live with you. That is correct, Dr. Hanna said. And that is what makes them effective companions. They retained all their natural abilities, all their hunting instincts, all their predator psychology. We did not weaken them. We just gave them a reason to stay. Handler Venelok looked troubled. But that means you live with a creature that is, at any moment, capable of violence. How does your crew cope with this constant danger? Taemin laughed. Danger? Whiskers is a member of the crew. Yes, he has claws and teeth. Yes, he is a predator. But he is also lazy, affectionate, and loves to sleep in sunbeams. The danger is that he might knock your coffee off your desk or demand food at 3 a.m. But in the arena, Venelok started. Their apex predator faced Earth's cat. It learned true terror 3 weeks after the arena incident. Captain Deho received his morning briefing from Lieutenant Taemin. The security officer had compiled an interesting report about galactic reactions to the cat situation. Captain, piracy near human vessels is now down 63% from pre-incident levels, Taemin reported. We also have confirmation that several aggressive species are actively avoiding human shipping lanes. The rumor networks are calling us the Predator Whisperers now. Deho sipped his coffee and smiled slightly. Predator Whisperers. I like that better than soft prey species. There is more, Taemin continued. Intelligence reports indicate that at least 8 species are now researching Earth's fauna extensively. They want to know what other creatures humans keep as pets. Some of them are quite alarmed by what they are finding. Dr. Hanna entered the briefing room with her own datapad. She looked both excited and amused. I need to show you something. A document is circulating through certain galactic channels. It is titled The Death World Species That Calls Everything Cute. It is becoming very popular. She displayed the document on the main screen. It was written in Galactic Standard and appeared to be a warning guide for species. Encountering humans for the first time, the document began, Humans come from a Class 12 Death World designated Earth. Do not let their friendly demeanor fool you. These beings evolved alongside creatures that would terrify most galactic species, and they consider many of these creatures to be pets or companions. Below is a partial list of Earth creatures that humans interact with regularly and casually. The list that followed was extensive. Dogs, pack hunters domesticated 30,000 years ago. Some breeds can track prey across entire continents. Bite force up to 328 psi. Humans allow these creatures to sleep in their beds and play with their children, horses, large flight animals that humans somehow taught to carry them into battle. Can kill with a single kick. Humans sit on their backs and consider it recreation, cats, as demonstrated in the arena incident. See attached footage for reference. Humans keep multiple cats in single households and find this normal. Bears. Some humans raise these apex predators from cubs. Bears can weigh over 600 kilograms and have claws that can tear through metal. Humans think they are adorable. Snakes. Predatory reptiles, some with deadly venom. Humans keep them in glass containers in their living spaces and occasionally drape them around their necks for fun. Spiders. 8-legged ambush predators with venom. Some humans keep large specimens as pets and handle them regularly. Human children often keep smaller versions in jars to observe them, birds of prey. Flying predators with talons designed to tear flesh. Humans trained these creatures thousands of years ago for hunting. Some humans still practice this today as a hobby. Dolphins, aquatic apex predators with complex social structures and high intelligence. Humans swim with them recreationally. Note: dolphins are known to kill sharks for sport. The document continued with dozens more entries, each one more alarming than the last. At the bottom was a conclusion written in bold text. If you encounter humans, be aware that they have evolved alongside constant danger. They have learned to coexist with, befriend, and in many cases domesticate creatures that most species would classify as severe threats. Their psychology is adapted to living with risk as a normal part of daily life. Approach with respect, not condescension. Remember, a species that calls apex predators cute has a very different threat assessment scale than yours. Deho read through the entire document, then laughed. This is ridiculous. We are not some kind of super warriors. We just like animals. That is exactly what makes it scary to other species, Dr. Hana said. We like animals, including the dangerous ones. Most species run from predators. We invite them into our homes. From their perspective, that is insane. Taemin pulled up another file. It gets better, Captain. Remember Ambassador Tigrith, the insectoid who correctly predicted that Whiskers would be formidable? He has invited us to visit his homeworld. Apparently, his people have a serious predator problem and they want to learn human approaches to predator management. Predator management? Deho repeated. We just feed cats and pet them. That is hardly management. To us, maybe, Dr. Hannah said. But to species that have never successfully coexisted with predators, what we do every day is revolutionary. We have 10,000 years of experience living peacefully alongside creatures designed to kill. That is valuable knowledge. A communication alert interrupted the meeting. The screen showed an incoming call from a species called the Krell. They were known as militaristic and aggressive, always testing other species for weakness. Deho accepted the call. A large reptilian face appeared on the screen. The creature had a heavy brow, sharp teeth visible even with its mouth closed, and cold, calculating eyes. This was War Master Drokanar, leader of the Krell military forces. Captain Deho of the human vessel, Drokanar said. His voice was deep and harsh. I am War Master Drokanar of the Krell Empire. I have watched footage of your small predator defeating the Vryn Scarith. Impressive performance. However, I believe this incident has created an inflated perception of human capability. Deho kept his expression neutral. War Master, how can I help you? The Krell Empire challenges humanity to a military exercise, Drokanar said bluntly. We have heard the rumors. We have seen species treat you with new respect. But we believe you remain unproven in actual combat. A demonstration is necessary. What kind of demonstration? Taemin asked, stepping into view of the camera. A war game in the Kepler-9 contested system, Drokanar replied. Standard council rules. No live weapons. Sensor locks count as hits. First side to achieve tactical victory wins. We will bring a fleet of 15 warships. You may bring whatever forces you consider appropriate. It was clearly meant as a trap. 15 Krell warships against however many human ships they could gather. The Krell expected humans to either refuse, which would make them look cowardly, or accept and be overwhelmed, which would prove they were weak despite the cat incident. Daeho considered carefully. Then he smiled slightly. We accept your challenge, War Master. 1 week from today, the Sejong Explorer and 2 support vessels will meet your fleet in the Kepler 9 system. Drokener's expression showed surprise. 3 ships against 15? You are either very confident or very foolish. Perhaps both, Daeho said calmly. Or perhaps we learned something from our cats. After the call ended, Taemin looked at his captain with concern. Sir, are you sure about this? 3 ships against 15 is not good odds, even in a war game. It is terrible odds? Daeho agreed. Which is why we are going to fight like Whiskers fought in the arena. Dr. Hannah's eyes lit up with understanding. Ambush tactics? Hit and fade. Psychological warfare. Exactly, Daeho confirmed. The Krell expect direct confrontation because that is how they fight. Big ships. Big guns. Overwhelming force. But that is not how cats hunt? And if we learned anything from Whiskers, it is that size does not matter as much as strategy. Over the next week, Daeho worked with his crew to develop their approach. He also sent daily broadcasts to the Krell fleet, supposedly as cultural exchange information, but actually designed to make them nervous. Day 1, information about cats, including full footage from the arena match with detailed analysis. Day 2, information about dogs, with special focus on military working dogs and their tracking abilities. Videos showed dogs taking down armed suspects and finding hidden targets. Day 3, information about horses and historical human cavalry charges. The Krell watched footage of humans riding massive animals directly into enemy formations. Day 4, information about bears. The file included details about how some humans raised bears from cubs and maintained relationships with them. One video showed a man playing with a full-grown grizzly bear like it was a puppy. Day 5, information about snakes, particularly the venomous varieties that humans kept as pets. The Krell seemed especially disturbed by videos of humans handling cobras and pythons casually. Day 6, information about spiders, including the largest species like tarantulas. Several videos showed human children holding these creatures. Day 7, a compilation video titled Humans Swimming with Apex Predators. It showed humans diving with sharks, playing with dolphins, and even swimming near crocodiles in controlled environments. The stated purpose of these broadcasts was cultural exchange and mutual understanding. The real purpose was psychological warfare. By the time the week ended, the Krell crews were thoroughly unnerved about what humans might be capable of. War Master Drokener complained to the Galactic Council. The humans are conducting psychological operations before the exercise even begins. The council referee replied, They are sharing cultural information as allowed by regulations. If this information disturbs you, that is not a violation. The day of the war game arrived. The Kepler 9 system was perfect for this kind of exercise. It had dense asteroid fields, gas giant gravity wells, and debris from an ancient battle. Lots of places to hide and lots of obstacles to navigate. The Sejong Explorer arrived with 2 support vessels, Hanyang's Pride and Bizen Runner. All 3 were smaller than the Krell warships. Against 15 Krell vessels, it looked like a hopeless situation. Their apex predator faced Earth's cat. It learned true terror. 6 months had passed since the arena incident. Captain Daeho stood on the observation deck of the Sejong Explorer, watching construction crews work on the new human embassy facility at Council Station Meridian. The structure was enormous, 10 times larger than the original human diplomatic office. It needed to be. In half a year, humanity's position in the galactic community had transformed completely. Lieutenant Taemin joined him at the window. The final numbers came in, Captain. Piracy incidents near human vessels are down 81% from pre-incident levels. Several pirate groups have actually disbanded rather than risk encountering us. They spread rumors that we travel with unknown predators hidden aboard our ships. Deho smiled. Let them believe it. The reality is simpler, but they would not understand. Speaking of which, Taemin continued, the Vrin Cultural Exchange Program has been a massive success. Their Skurith handler training now incorporates human relationship-building techniques. Tekvar published his findings in the Galactic Journal of Xenobiology. The paper is titled Coexistence Over Domination: Revolutionary Approaches from Earth's Cat Domestication. It is getting incredible attention. Dr. Hannah entered the observation deck carrying a data pad and, predictably, whiskers. The cat had become even more spoiled since becoming famous. He now demanded to be carried to his favorite spots around the ship. Captain, you need to see this, Dr. Hannah said, setting Whiskers down. The cat immediately found a patch of sunlight and began his ritual of grooming. The Galactic Council has formally reclassified humanity from Tier 4 to Tier 2 status. That puts us in the same category as the Vrin and the Krell. We are now officially recognized as both militarily capable and diplomatically sophisticated because of a cat, Taemin said with amusement. Because of what the cat represents, Dr. Hannah corrected. Whiskers showed the galaxy that humans understand predators in a fundamental way that most species do not. That understanding extends to everything we do. Our diplomacy, our military tactics, our social structures. The Council finally recognizes that. Deho's communicator chimed. It was Commander Ralvik calling from the Vrin embassy on the station. The two had become unlikely friends over the past months. Captain Deho, Ralvik's face appeared on the small screen. I wanted to inform you personally. The Vrin High Council has voted to establish a permanent military alliance with humanity. We are also opening joint research facilities for predator behavioral studies. Tekvar is very excited. That is excellent news, Commander, Deho replied. We value the Vrin friendship. There is more, Ralvik continued, and his expression became serious. We have received reports that several aggressive species are planning coordinated actions against human interests. They feel threatened by your rising influence. They want to test you, to see if your reputation is real or manufactured. Let them test, Deho said calmly. We will respond appropriately. After the call ended, Dr. Hannah looked concerned. Captain, do you think we are ready for coordinated aggression? We are still a relatively small presence in the galaxy. Small but smart, Deho replied. And we have allies now. The Vrin, the Zethron, Tikrith's people. Species that understand what we represent. More importantly, we have a reputation. Sometimes reputation is as powerful as actual force. Lieutenant Taemin checked his data pad. Speaking of reputation, we have another situation. 3 human merchant vessels reported being approached by ships from the Krevix Union. The Krevix demanded payment for safe passage through their territory. All 3 merchant captains responded the same way. How did they respond? Deho asked. Dashman grinned. They transmitted images of their ship's cats. Just pictures of ordinary house cats doing normal cat things. All 3 Krevix ships immediately withdrew without further confrontation. Dr. Hannah laughed. We have weaponized cat pictures. That might be the most human thing ever. It was absurd, but it was working. The galaxy had built up such a mythology around cats and humans that even the image of a sleeping cat was enough to deter potential threats. It was psychological warfare of the strangest kind. A week later, the situation escalated. A consortium of 5 aggressive species issued a joint statement claiming that humanity's reputation was based on trickery and propaganda. They demanded that humans prove their capabilities in a series of challenges, or be officially designated as a manipulative species unworthy of Tier 2 status. Earth Command responded by sending a fleet to Council space. It was not a large fleet by galactic standards, only 20 ships, but it was enough to make a statement. Captain Deho was given command of the diplomatic mission that would accompany the fleet. The challenges would take place over 2 weeks and cover various aspects of civilization, military capability, scientific knowledge, diplomatic skill, and cultural sophistication. It was designed to be comprehensive and public. Hundreds of species would be watching. Daiho gathered his senior staff in the conference room. We need to approach this carefully. They want to discredit us. We need to show them that everything they have heard about humanity is true, and also show them things they have not imagined yet. What do you have in mind? Taemin asked. For the military demonstration, we use the tactics from the Krell exercise. Hit and fade. Make them look foolish. For the scientific demonstration, Dr. Hannah will present her paper on Deathworld adaptation strategies. For diplomacy, he paused. We will do something unconventional. Unconventional how? Dr. Hannah asked. We bring Earth animals to the demonstrations? Not just cats? Dogs, horses, even a trained falcon if we can arrange it. We show the galaxy what it really means to be human. We are the species that lives alongside apex predators and made them family. Over the next 2 weeks, humanity demonstrated everything they had claimed and more. The military exercises went exactly as Daiho predicted. Human ships used ambush tactics, superior coordination, and psychological warfare to defeat numerically superior forces. The watching species were impressed and disturbed in equal measure. Dr. Hannah's scientific presentation was brilliant. She explained how humans evolved on a high-gravity world with extreme conditions, how they adapted to coexist with thousands of predator species, and how this shaped human psychology, culture, and technology. Her use of actual examples, bringing a calm, well-trained dog on stage and demonstrating the partnership between human and canine made everything concrete and real. The diplomatic demonstration was the most impactful. Instead of traditional negotiation exercises, Daiho invited representatives from various species to a human cultural fair. There were human foods, human art, human music, and there were animals. A golden retriever named Max played fetch with alien children while their parents watched nervously. A horse named Thunder gave rides to brave volunteers. A falcon named Sky performed flying demonstrations. And of course there were cats. Multiple cats, all behaving like typical cats, sleeping, playing, demanding attention. The aliens who attended were initially terrified, but as they watched humans interact with these creatures, children hugging dogs, people riding horses, falconers launching birds from their arms, something shifted in their understanding. One diplomat, a cautious herbivore species, tentatively approached Max, the dog. Sensing the alien's fear, simply sat down and waited. Slowly, carefully, the alien reached out and touched the dog's head. Max's tail wagged. The alien jerked back, startled, then realized the tail wagging was happiness, not aggression. He likes you, Daiho said gently. The alien touched the dog again, more confidently this time. Max leaned into the touch, enjoying the attention. The alien's expression changed from fear to wonder. This is a predator? The alien asked. Yes, Daiho confirmed. But also a friend. That is what humans understand. Everything can be both dangerous and wonderful. You just need to approach with respect. By the end of the 2 weeks, the 5 species that had challenged humanity withdrew their accusations. More than that, 3 of them requested formal diplomatic relations. They had come to discredit humans and left convinced that humans represented something new and valuable in the galaxy. But the most significant moment came on the final day. War Master Drokanar, who had been observing the entire demonstration, requested a private meeting with Daiho. They met in a quiet conference room. Drokanar looked thoughtful, almost troubled. Captain Daiho, he began, I have been thinking about our exercise 6 months ago. I have been thinking about everything I have seen during these demonstrations, and I have reached a conclusion that troubles my people. What conclusion? Daiho asked. Humans are not just another species in the galaxy. You represent a completely different philosophy of existence. Most species, including the Krell, believe in hierarchy. Strong over weak, predator over prey, domination as the natural order. But humans believe in partnership, in mutual benefit, in coexistence. And you have proven that your philosophy works. Drokanar paused, choosing his words carefully. This means everything the Krell believe might be wrong, and that is terrifying to us. Daeho considered this. War Master, your philosophy is not wrong. It works for you and your people, but it is not the only way. Different species can have different approaches. The question is whether we can coexist despite our differences.